We all know Oklahoma has been the flag bearer for the Big 12 Conference for the past several years. Once them and Texas leave for the SEC, can one of the other remaining teams or the newcomers step up and be the flag bearer for the new Big 12 Conference? Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner. So come on in, sit back, let me pour you out a shot of top-shelf college sports content. Today, that just so happens to be college football and the Big 12 Conference. Posted this on my community tab on my channel the other day as a poll question. Asked what team my subscribers thought would be the team that could carry the banner for the Big 12. One of them recommended I make a video about it. I thought, you know what, that's a great idea. So here it is. I'm going to give you 5 teams who I think have the best chance to be the flag bearers for the conference and kind of be the dominant team. And I'll tell you at the end which team I think it ends up being, if any, or will it be somebody else. Before I do that real quick, I ask that you please subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. It's totally free to hit that red subscribe button. Hit the red notification bell to be notified of future videos. Give me that thumbs up if you like this specific video, and also please share this with your friends who love college football. Now let's get on with it. First on the list of BYU Cougars. The BYU Cougars went 10-3 in the 2021 season, including 6-1 against Power 5 competition. 5 of those wins coming against Pac-12 teams, including a win over eventual Pac-12 champion Utah. Their lone loss to a Power 5 team was against Baylor by 2 touchdowns. BYU has 2 consecutive 10-win seasons. Kalani Sitake has that team really moving in the right direction. They're starting to recruit better. They're starting to recruit more speed, according to reports I've read. They currently have the 10th ranked recruiting class among all the new Big 12 teams and are 56th in the nation in the 2022 class, according to 24/7 Sports. The one thing that could hinder BYU from being the dominant team is the religious restrictions that they have there as far as enrollment goes, being associated with the Latter-day Saints Church, and also the mission trips they require their students to take. Some of those things could be a hindrance to ever having a really top-notch recruiting class and getting a lot of 4- and 5-star guys on campus. If you're a BYU fan and you're watching this, and maybe I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comment section, because sometimes you guys educate me more than I educate you, and I welcome that. So please let me know, BYU fans. Am I off base? Are there not any recruiting restrictions to speak of there at BYU? Next on the list is Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati, of course, we all know, made it to the college football playoff last year, the first group of 5 team to do so. We all know Luke Fickell's got that team moving in the right direction. They've won the American Conference title 2 years in a row. They've won 12 games 2 years in a row. They currently have the number 5 ranked recruiting class among all the new Big 12 teams, and they're 42nd nationally. Now, consider the fact that most of those recruits committed to Cincinnati before they announced they were going to the Big 12, because that announcement didn't happen until, August, September or so, and heck, signing day was December, so most of those guys were already locked in. Imagine, now that they're in a Big 12 conference or going to a Big 12 conference, a Power 5 conference, how much that could improve their recruiting going forward. So Luke Fickell's definitely got them going in the right direction. Can they sustain that once they get in the Big 12? We will see. Next on the list is Baylor. The Baylor Bears, we all know, won the Big 12 last year. Also defeated Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. So just a really successful season. We know their basketball program won a national championship 2 seasons ago. They're doing really well. Their whole athletic department is just on fire right now. They're really, really successful athletically and almost across the board, especially in their major sports. They just signed Mack Rose, their AD, to a 10-year contract extension to solidify their athletic department. They've got Dave Aranda there coaching, who's one of the hottest coaches in the country right now. They had the number 36 recruiting class in the country for 2022, number 3 among all the new Big 12 teams. So a lot of positive things to speak of on Baylor right there. The Oklahoma State Cowboys, well, there again, they were literally inches from going to the college football playoff potentially last year. They lost to Baylor in the Big 12 title game by literally inches. Then went on to beat Notre Dame in the New Year's Six bowl game. So a really successful season for Mike Gundy and his Cowboys team. They have the number 1 ranked class among all the new Big 12 teams, number 29 nationally. So Mike Gundy's recruiting at a pretty high level there. We know he's been consistently winning there. Oklahoma State is the number 10 winningest program in the nation the past decade. So despite having to compete against Oklahoma and honestly losing most years to Oklahoma, Mike Gundy continues to have Oklahoma State at least in the conversation as the best team in the conference in most seasons. And I don't see any reason why that won't continue. Last but not least, my West Virginia Mountaineers. I know this might be a homer pick, but I do think West Virginia's moving in the right direction. We've struggled the last 3 years since Neil Brown's got here. We've lost a lot of guys to the transfer portal, but Neil Brown's not only changing the culture from what Dana Holgorsen had here, he's also changing the identity of the team. A lot of the guys that we lost were probably going to get buried on the depth chart. Not all of them, but some of them. And they're replacing them with more talented guys with more speed and more length to be more competitive in his mind against Big 12 competition. He's also recruiting at a very high level. West Virginia has the number 2 ranked class among all the new Big 12 schools for 2022, the number 35 ranked team nationally, which is a high ranking for West Virginia historically. And it looks like the 2023 class could be as good, if not better, than the 2022 class. The question is he going to be able to develop them on the field and start getting those win totals up every year? Because 6 wins a year is not going to cut it if you want to be competitive and win the Big 12 title. So, of all those teams I mentioned, is there one of them that I think will be the banner bearer or the banner carrier for the conference? The answer to that question is no. And here's why. I just think there's too much parity. I don't think any of these teams will ever be a blue blood program as far as their capabilities in recruiting. I think all 5 of them have the chance to win the conference here and there, but I don't think they can do it every year. I don't think they can do it consistently. I think West Virginia will have their moment in the sun. I think Baylor's going to have some more of their moments in the sun. I think Oklahoma State will. I think even BYU will. And even some of the new teams, UCF, Cincy, I think they'll have shots. Houston potentially even to win the Big 12 here. And Kansas State, don't forget about them. They're a dark horse to win the Big 12. But I just don't think any of these teams are going to be able to recruit well enough and get 4- and 5-star athletes year in, year out to be dominant over the other teams. I mean, as it stands right now, West Virginia, Iowa State, Baylor, Oklahoma State are all in the 30s. In Oklahoma, you could say Oklahoma State's right there at 29, but they're all between 29 and 40 right now in national recruiting rankings. So they're all recruiting at a similar level. That creates parity, in my opinion. I think Cincinnati's going to be right there with them. I think UCF will be right there with them. TCU, I don't see them, I don't really see TCU doing any better than that. So I think there'll be a lot of parity in the Big 12, and that actually excites me. I think that's actually better for the conference. I think it's going to be more fun for the fan base. And every year you'll go into the season knowing your team has a shot to win the Big 12 title. Right now, I don't really feel that way. Most seasons I feel like West Virginia, if we could just get in the Big 12 title game or even be in the conversation, is a good season. Now, that expectation is going to go up. I'm going to expect them to be in the Big 12 title game every year. And to me, that's fun as a fan base. So let me know in the comment section, do you think any of these 5 teams have the chance to be the banner bearer for the conference? Or do you think one of the other teams have a better chance to do it? Do you think Iowa State has a better shot, or Kansas State, or even Houston for that matter, or UCF, one of the newcomers? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please, if you haven't yet. Don't forget to share. Guys, please hit the Fanatics link in the description box to get your college sports apparel. Whether you're a fan of West Virginia, whether you're a fan of Cincinnati or Houston or any of these other schools, this link will get you into the Fanatics website. You don't have to buy the product that's shown. You can buy anything from that site, and I'll make a small commission from it. You'll really be helping out my channel, and you'll be able to get your college sports apparel that you need, and it won't cost you an extra dime to do so. Well, listen, I appreciate you tuning into this video, and until next time, Q Country Roads.